Hello friends, and happy Monday. I thought I would pop into your inbox with something a little different today. It's been a minute since I've done a recorded version of this weekly newsletter, and I thought today would be a good day. You can see that I'm here in my bedroom, the big old pile of laundry that I just folded, and I felt like today would be a good day to do a recorded version because there are many other things that I have to accomplish today. And so sometimes these recorded versions are easier and quicker than me writing them out. Even though I really enjoy writing out these newsletters and kind of checking in with y'all every week. So how are you doing this week? This week has been, well, it's been a lot for me already, and it's only Monday. Yesterday was the annual downtown cleanup, which happens every year at the end of April, and it's in preparation for the busier spring and summer season and the annual Camas Plant and Garden Fair. So I was downtown all day yesterday, pressure washing the sidewalk in front of our building. So both our space and Meredith next door, her space. And you know, Sundays are the only day of the week that I typically have off. I technically don't teach on Saturdays or Sundays, but I am usually at the studio all day on Saturday. And so Sundays I typically spend the day at home prepping for the week ahead. And yesterday I did not have that opportunity, which means that I had a lot of things to catch up on today. So lately, I've been really thinking about the idea of resiliency, what resiliency means, how it shows up in my life, and how we help not only ourselves, but those around us build resiliency. I am raising a teenager here in our home, and this idea of resiliency has been coming up again and again as we are navigating through the mental health care system, his recent mental health diagnosis, and just being a teenager in today's world. Like, the fact of the matter is that teens today are dealing with more than any other generation before them. And resiliency is needed now more than ever. So how do we really build resiliency? Because resiliency is not something that we are born with. It is something that we cultivate and build over time. And it takes a lot of work to build that resiliency. I've been thinking about how it shows up in my own life and what it really means for me and for this business. I was texting with Danielle today, and we were texting back and forth. If you practice with us online, you already know that we're having some struggles with not only our scheduling software, but the integration between our scheduling software and our Zoom classes. And it has been really frustrating, to say the least, not only for me trying to solve the problems, but for our students and our teaching staff as well. We were going back and forth and talking a bit about the different solutions that we, could come up with, and why or why not those solutions may or may not work. And I was talking with Danielle, and I was telling her that, I feel in many ways really exhausted, because I feel like over and over again for the last 3 years, I have had to learn new systems. I have had to learn how to translate those systems and teach those systems to other people. And just when I think that we should have smooth sailing, something happens. So in this case, both Zoom and our scheduling software had updates simultaneously. And in those updates of their software, something got broken so that they are no longer communicating in the way that they were. And although I have been talking with the team who is responsible for our scheduling software and trying to navigate and fix what's happening with Zoom, it really has been super challenging. It's required a lot more work, both on my part and the part of our staff and our students as well. And so this is where resiliency really comes into play for me. To be resilient is to know that even though things may feel challenging, they may feel difficult, that we don't give up. If we are confident in our path, if we're confident in our role in our community, if we're confident in what we're doing, when we choose not to give up, when we choose to stick through it and to sit through the discomfort and the challenges, that's when we build resiliency, so that next time those challenges come around, it's not that they won't still be challenging, it's just that we have built resiliency to that challenge, and we know that on the other end of it, we'll be okay. So this idea has been coming up a lot for me. You know, with everything happening in the world, our teenagers are really struggling right now. Not only does the simple act of going to school, a space that for generations felt so safe for so many children, no longer really feels that way. We've got book bans happening and bans on people's bodies and bans on people trying to live the best versions of their lives. And our teenagers see all of that. And it causes a lot of anxiety, and it causes a lot of mental and emotional turmoil. And so to be resilient is to be able to identify that there is a problem, to identify and name the problem, and to take steps to move through the challenging times, and to do our best to not be attached to the outcome, which is really, really challenging. You know, our younger generations have always looked up to older generations for guidance, for protection, and over again, older generations have failed their younger generations. And I think about that a lot. I think about the fact that I have a teenager in my home who, you know, has struggled with school, has struggled with other things in his life, and how resilient he is, and also needing to remind him how resilient he is. And that giving up when things get challenging is not necessarily the best way to approach life. Sometimes we do need to give up. Sometimes we need to throw our hands up and walk in the other direction. That goes for relationships, that goes for jobs, that goes for a large variety of things. But even in those times when we choose to give up and to walk away in order to protect ourselves, to protect our own well-being, to protect our own sanity, we learn lessons of resiliency. We learn where our boundaries are, and we learn how to do better next time, if we choose to learn those lessons. Sometimes we choose not to learn those lessons, and then we repeat the mistakes again and again and again until we do learn those lessons. The universe has a way of continuing to remind us of the things that we need to learn over and over and over again. Anyway, that's what's been on my mind this week, is this idea of resiliency, how it shows up in our life, how we can cultivate it, how we can continue to help us grow and become more and more resilient. So I'm interested to know how resiliency shows up in your life. What do you think resiliency means? And how do you work to cultivate it in your own life every day? Our 6-week practice challenge begins this week on Wednesday, I believe. Today's the 24th, the 26th is Wednesday, yeah. So our 6-week practice challenge begins this Wednesday. You're invited to join us for the next 6 weeks to commit to taking 3 or more classes a week for the next 6 weeks to recommit to your practice and to yourself. There are going to be fun recorded classes, prompts or journal prompts, articles, and other sources of inspiration along the way for those of you who join the challenge. And also for those of you that are local here to the Camas area that complete the challenge, you will be entered in to win either a session with Christina, our Bowen work therapy massage therapist that works out of our space, or 2 tickets to one of our monthly sound baths. We hope that you will join us over the next 6 weeks for this really amazing spring practice challenge. Recommit to yourself, recommit to your practice, recommit to our community. If you are brand new to our space, we are offering a 6-week intro package. It's only $60. So for $60, you can join our community, practice with us in person or online. You can join the 6-week practice challenge and still be entered in to win one of our great prizes for completing the challenge and engaging with us along the way. We really are different here at LiveWell Camas. The community that we've cultivated, the folks around us, and the way in which we chip into the broader community is a lot different than any other space that we've seen around here. So we hope that you will join us. Until next time, take good care, sending you endless amounts of love.